Most travelers who get stopped at the gate did not do anything reckless. They made one small carry-on mistake, and it triggered a fee, a delay, or a confiscation they never saw coming. Today we are counting down the 14 most common ones. Number 1 is the mistake that causes the most problems at the checkpoint, and most travelers have no idea they are making it. Let's get into it. If you fly even once or twice a year, subscribe now. This channel exists to make sure you never walk into an airport unprepared, and we publish new tips every single week. Number 14. Your bag is heavier than you think, and the plane will prove it. Here is something most travelers never consider. A bag can meet every size requirement, fit perfectly in the sizer at the gate, and still become a real problem the moment you try to lift it over your head in a narrow airplane aisle. Flight attendants are not required to help passengers lift luggage into the overhead bin. A bag that is too heavy to lift safely is not just an inconvenience, it is a hazard for whoever is sitting below it. Before you leave home, lift your fully packed carry-on to shoulder height with one hand. If that is difficult on flat ground in your living room, it will be genuinely hard in a crowded aisle with people waiting behind you. Balance the weight throughout the bag. Keep the heaviest items low and centered. A well-packed carry-on boards faster, stows easier, and starts your trip on a calmer note. Number 13 is a mistake that has nothing to do with what is in your bag, and everything to do with what comes out of your mouth. Number 13. The words you say at security matter more than you realize. Certain phrases at a TSA checkpoint trigger mandatory responses regardless of how they are meant. A joke about what is in the bag, a sarcastic comment directed at an officer who did not find it funny, a frustrated remark under someone's breath that carried further than intended. These moments happen every single day at airports across America, and they can stop a trip cold. It does not matter that no harm was meant. At a security checkpoint, words move faster than context. The approach that works every time is simple. Stay calm, answer what is asked, and keep it brief. If something feels unfair or confusing, ask to speak with a supervisor, quietly and on the spot. That one habit will get you through more difficult airport moments than almost anything else on this list. Now we are getting into the mistakes that cost real money. Number 12 is one that surprises people because it involves items they have carried their entire lives without ever questioning them. Number 12. The liquids rule is catching you on items you never considered. The 311 liquids rule has been in place for nearly 20 years. Most travelers know the name of it. Far fewer understand what it actually covers. Liquids, gels, aerosols, creams, and pastes, anything spreadable, squeezable, or pourable, all fall under the same rule. Containers must be 3.4 ounces or smaller. Everything must fit in one clear quart-sized bag, and each traveler gets one bag. What catches people is the category itself. Peanut butter is a liquid under TSA guidelines. So is jam, toothpaste, lip gloss, eye drops, sunscreen, and the full-size jar of face cream someone packed without thinking. A traveler in Charlotte had an expensive skincare product confiscated at the checkpoint, something she had packed in checked luggage for years in the wrong bag for the very first time. Pack your liquids bag the night before. Pull it out before you reach the conveyor belt. Never wait until you are standing at the bin to start looking for it. 30 seconds of preparation the night before eliminates one of the most common and entirely avoidable delays in airport security. Number 11 surprises people because the items involved never feel like they should be a problem, right up until the scanner stops and an officer starts asking questions. Number 11. Your bag contains at least one prohibited item you don't know about. The TSA prohibited items list is longer and more specific than most travelers expect, and what gets flagged most often is not weapons. It is ordinary objects people carry without a second thought. Snow globes are considered liquids because of the water inside them. Gel shoe inserts above a certain thickness get flagged. Lithium batteries in the wrong configuration are a problem. Certain tools over 7 inches do not belong in a carry-on. The rules are not always intuitive, and they do change. Before every trip, go to tsa.gov and use the free What Can I Bring tool. Type in any item you are even slightly uncertain about. It will tell you exactly where it belongs. Carry on, checked bag, or not allowed at all. It takes 2 minutes, and it has saved more travelers from confiscations and secondary screenings than any amount of guessing ever has. We are approaching the halfway point, and from here, the mistakes start getting more expensive. Number 10 catches experienced travelers just as often as first-timers because it is built on an assumption that used to be safe and quietly stopped being true. Number 10. The carry-on that fit. Last time may not fit this time. Not all carry-on size limits are the same. A bag that slid into the overhead bin without any trouble on your last flight may not meet the requirements of the airline you are flying today. Budget carriers, regional jets, and international partner airlines frequently have stricter allowances than the major legacy carriers. Travelers use the same bag for years across different airlines, and then one day a gate agent pulls out the sizer and the bag does not fit. That is a gate check fee. And on some carriers, it runs between $30 and $80, paid on the spot, with no negotiation. Check your specific airline's carry-on dimensions before every trip. Do not assume because it worked before that it works now. And remember that a fully packed bag is larger than an empty one. Fabric expands, and a bag that meets the dimensions at home may be borderline by the time you reach the gate. Number 9 is a fee that is spreading across more airlines every year, and most passengers do not realize they have already agreed to pay it at the moment they confirmed their booking. Number 9. You booked a ticket that doesn't include your carry-on. Carry-on bags used to be included in almost every domestic fare. That is no longer true. Budget carriers like Spirit, Frontier, and Allegiant have charged for carry-ons for years. What has changed more recently is that basic economy fares on major airlines, American, Delta, and United, now frequently limit passengers to a personal item only. No full-size carry-on included. Travelers book these fares to save $40 or $50 on the ticket price, arrive at the gate with a standard carry-on, and walk away having paid a gate fee that costs more than the difference between basic and standard economy ever would have. The moment to catch this is at booking, not at the gate. Read the fare details before you confirm. If the ticket says basic economy, find out exactly what is and is not included. Knowing that before you pack means you make a real decision, not a forced one under pressure at the last possible moment. We are halfway through. Everything so far was avoidable with a little preparation. What comes next is different. These are the mistakes that hit when you are already at the gate and already out of options. Number 8. You're packing your medications wrong and the checkpoint will show it. Medications are not just allowed in carry-on bags. In most cases, they should be in your carry-on, not your checked luggage. The issue is not whether you can bring them. It is how they are packed and what you say when you reach the checkpoint. Medications left loose at the bottom of a crowded bag are hard to access quickly during inspection. That slows everything down and increases the likelihood of a secondary screening. Medications moved out of their original labeled containers and placed into unmarked pouches or weekly pill organizers raise questions, not because anything is wrong, but because an officer has no way to know that. A traveler in Atlanta avoided a lengthy secondary screening entirely by simply telling the officer about her insulin pens before her bag went through the machine. Officers handle that kind of declaration quickly and professionally when passengers bring it up first, rather than waiting to be asked. Keep medications in original containers when possible. Bring a copy of your prescription for anything that might prompt a question, and declare before screening, not after. That combination makes the checkpoint faster for you and everyone behind you. Number 7 has become significantly more urgent in the past year. If you have not checked this one specific item before your next trip, there is a real chance you will be stopped before you ever reach your gate. Number 7, your driver's license may no longer get you past security. Real ID enforcement is now fully active across the United States. As of May 2025, a standard state driver's license without the Real ID star marking is no longer accepted for domestic air travel. That small gold or black star in the upper right corner of your license is the difference between walking through the checkpoint and being turned away from it. Many travelers, especially those who do not fly every year, are still carrying older licenses and assuming they are fine. Some are not. Look at your license before your next trip. If the star is there, you are good. If it is not, bring your passport instead. It is always accepted. Or visit your state's DMV to get the upgrade before you fly. Starting in February 2026, the TSA will offer an alternative identity verification option at the checkpoint for $45. That is a fee that is entirely avoidable. 10 seconds with your license in your hand before you leave for the airport is all it takes. Number 6 is about what happens after security, and it is a mistake that turns a comfortable flight into an uncomfortable one from the moment you sit down. Number 6. you're packing for capacity when you should be packing for access. Packing a carry-on the way most people pack a checked bag, every inch used, everything compressed and zipped tight, makes perfect sense at home and creates real problems in the air. When you need something during the flight, you have to stand up, open the overhead bin, move other people's things, dig through your own bag, and do all of that while passengers are watching and waiting. The solution is to divide your carry-on into 2 zones before you ever start packing. Zone 1 is everything you will not need during the flight: clothes, shoes, anything that can stay overhead untouched. Zone 2 is everything you will want once you are seated: medications, reading glasses, headphones, a snack, your phone charger, a light jacket. Zone 2 does not belong in the overhead bin. It belongs in your personal item, under the seat in front of you, within arm's reach from the moment the door closes. That one shift in how you think about packing changes how the entire flight feels. 4 mistakes left. These are the ones with the biggest consequences and, in most cases, the least obvious causes. Number 5. You're skipping the one check that costs $15 and saves you hundreds. Most travelers know that checked bags have weight limits. Far fewer realize that carry-on bags have weight limits too, and that those limits vary by airline and by route. On most domestic flights with major U.S. carriers, carry-on weight is rarely enforced at the gate. But on international itineraries and budget carrier routes, bags are sometimes weighed before boarding. An overweight carry-on at an international gate can mean a forced check at a fee that is significantly higher than anything you would pay at home. A luggage scale costs under $15. It hangs from the handle of any bag and gives you an accurate reading in seconds. Weigh your carry-on before you leave home on any international trip or budget carrier flight. That $15 scale pays for itself the first time it catches something you did not know was a problem. 4 left. These are the ones with the biggest consequences and the least obvious causes. Do not go anywhere. Number 4 is growing in frequency as airlines get stricter, and it involves the second bag, not the first. Number 4. Your second bag is about to become your most expensive mistake. Most airlines allow 1 carry-on and 1 personal item. The personal item, a purse, a backpack, a laptop bag, is supposed to fit under the seat in front of you. What has changed is enforcement. Budget carriers are now placing physical sizers at the gate, and any personal item that does not fit gets checked on the spot. The fees on some carriers exceed $45 per bag. A traveler on a budget carrier had her oversized tote pulled at the boarding door and paid more to check it than she had paid for her seat. Standard personal item dimensions across most airlines run roughly 18 by 14 by 8 inches. A structured purse or a slim backpack almost always qualifies. An overstuffed tote or a rolling duffel almost never does. Know your second bag's dimensions before you pack it, because at some gates, nobody will warn you until it is already too late. We are down to the final 3. Number 3 is a timing mistake that catches travelers who have done everything else right. Number 3, you checked in online and assumed your carry-on space was safe. Online check-in is one of the best habits in air travel. It saves time, locks in your seat, and moves you through the airport more smoothly. What it does not do is hold overhead bin space for you. Bins fill up on a first-come, first-served basis. On a full domestic flight, which nearly every flight now is, the bins near the front of the plane are gone well before the final boarding groups step on. Travelers who check in online and then arrive at the gate with minutes to spare walk onto the plane and find every bin near their seat already closed. The announcement comes: remaining carry-ons must be checked at the door. Sometimes that check is free, sometimes it is not. And either way, the bag you packed specifically to stay with you is now in the hold. Board as early as your boarding group allows. Use every advantage available: early boarding from a credit card, frequent flyer status, anything that moves you toward the front of the line. The bin above your seat fills up whether you are ready or not. Number 2 affects a very specific group of travelers. And if you or someone you love travels with any kind of medical device, mobility aid, or health-related equipment, this may be the most important tip in the entire video. Number 2, you're going through security without a plan, and it's going to show. Millions of travelers, many of them over 60, pass through airport security every year carrying pacemakers, insulin pumps, CPAP machines, or living with knee and hip replacements. Most of them navigate the checkpoint without any plan at all. They go through the standard screening lane, get pulled aside, feel rushed or unsure of their rights, and do not know what to ask for or how to ask for it. What most of these travelers do not know is that TSA Cares exists specifically for this situation. The toll-free number is 1-8557-872227. Call at least 72 hours before your flight. A TSA officer will be assigned to meet you at the checkpoint and guide you through the entire process personally. No surprises, no uncertainty, no being pulled aside without knowing why. There is more. If you are over 75 years old, you are already exempt from removing your jacket at the checkpoint, something the posted signs will not mention and most officers will not bring up unless you do. Passengers with hip or knee replacements simply tell the officer before screening begins. A different and more comfortable process is available the moment you speak up. TSA Cares is free. The call takes 5 minutes. And for any traveler who finds airport security stressful, that one phone call before the trip changes the entire experience. And now, number 1. The mistake with the widest reach, the biggest consequences, and the one that quietly sits beneath every other mistake on this list. Number 1. You don't actually know what's in your bag. This is not about packing something dangerous. It is about the bag that was partially packed by someone else. The side pocket that still has something in it from 3 trips ago. The item a grandchild slipped in without mentioning it. The half-used canister sitting at the bottom because no one thought to check. When that bag goes through the scanner and an officer asks what is in the front left pocket, a hesitant answer, any answer that is not immediate and certain, triggers a full manual inspection. That means time. It means stress. It can mean a missed flight. And it is entirely preventable. The rule is simple. Never carry a bag you have not personally packed and personally inspected before every single trip. Open every compartment, check every pocket, look at everything. Not because you are careless, but because that one habit, 5 minutes before you leave home, removes every accidental problem before it becomes a real one at the checkpoint. When an officer asks what is in your bag, there is only one acceptable answer, and it is one you can give immediately, without hesitation, because you already know. The phrase that protects you every time is this: I packed this bag myself, I checked it this morning, and I know exactly what is in it. That is not just a packing tip. That is a travel standard. Said it once, and it travels with you on every flight for the rest of your life. If today's video helped you, drop a comment and tell us which one of these would have caught you off guard. We read every comment and we want to know. And before your next trip, watch our video on the TSA mistakes travelers over 55 make most often, including a change at the checkpoint in 2025 that most people still have not heard about. Several of those mistakes happen before your carry-on ever reaches the scanner. That video is up next on Passenger Pro. We will see you there.